If you had a time machine, what would you do with it? Would you go back and fix your biggest mistake, or maybe make a fortune betting on sports? Or would you maybe hug someone you lost a long time ago? Or maybe just relive a moment where life felt so much simpler? Today we're going to be doing Back to the Future. Back to the Future isn't just a movie, it's the time travel movie. It's the blueprint of all time travel movies. It's the gold standard of all time travel movies. But in 2025, does this 1985 classic still hit the same? Or has it aged into a relic of the 1980s? Trapped in a world of DeLoreans, Pepsi-free, and some very awkward family moments. We'll get back to that in a minute. But first, let's dig in. First, the basics of the movie. It was Back to the Future was directed by Robert Zemeckis. It was produced by Steven Spielberg, and it starred Michael J. Fox in his prime. It was released in July of 1985 and made over $380 million, which nowadays is like $1.1 billion. It became a trilogy. It became a ride. There was a Back to the Future cartoon. There was even a Back to the Future musical. And it's still a meme factory to this day. Hell, it's just a full-on pop culture religion, face it. But that first film, that's where the magic lives. Let's do the story. Marty McFly is your average 80s teen. Skateboard, puffy vest, dreams of making it big, and a best friend who just happens to be an eccentric scientist pushing 60 named Doc Brown. Don't ask how they met. The movie never explains it. We just accept it. Don't question it. Anyway, Doc makes the time machine out of a DeLorean, which was a cool car back then. Then these terrorists show up and they're looking for plutonium. Yep, that's how the movie starts. Okay, then Marty ends up transported back to 1955, accidentally preventing his parents from falling in love, which is not good for Marty. Now he's got to fix the past, survive the 50s, and somehow make it back to the future before he wipes himself out entirely of existence. The story moves like clockwork, the pacing never lets up, and that energy is still electric to this day. But come on, we're not seeing this with fresh eyes. It's 2025. We've seen time travel done every imaginable ways. Avengers Endgame, Doctor Who, Rick and Morty, Dark, Loki, Looper, The Flash, Tenet, hell, even Hot Tub Time Machine with John Cusack. At this point, time travel isn't a twist, it's a full-blown genre. So, what makes Back to the Future still matter? Let's start with this. It's not about science. Not really. It's about emotion. Time travel's the setup, yeah, but what it's really about is seeing your parents as people. Not as the grown-ups who told you to clean your room, but as kids, basically. They're awkward, they're confused, they're trying way too hard. Suddenly you realize they didn't have it all figured out. They were just making it up as they went, same as you are now. That's why this movie works. Marty goes back thinking his dad's a total loser, his mom's a buzzkill, and that the whole family's a lost cause. But then he gets a look at them before life wore them down. Just regular kids, awkward and insecure with big dreams, just like Marty was. And that's the punch that hits you later on in life, when you realize your parents aren't superheroes. They're definitely not villains. They're just versions of you, and they're figuring out as they go along. And you think it's just a goofy time travel movie about flux capacitors and crazy science, but then it sneaks up on you. You realize that you're actually watching a movie about family, growing up, and figuring out who people really are. Also, let's talk about Marty McFly, the actual character. This guy walks the perfect line between cool and dorky. He's got the skateboard, he's got the denim, he's got the one-liners, but he's also constantly overwhelmed. He's getting knocked out, panic attacks, he's overreacting to everything. He's not the chosen one. He's just a kid trying to not get erased from reality. And Michael J. Fox, who plays him, his performance, he owns it. He delivers on every single joke. He performs the panic and you can feel it. Every emotional beat with a natural ease that never feels forced. It's just great in this movie. Then there's Doc Brown, played by Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd turns what could have been a cartoon character into something iconic. He's wild-eyed, frantic, brilliant, and earnest, but there's zero ego in this character. He's just a man chasing knowledge, trying to do something good, and realizing, maybe too late, that he's in over his head. The friendship is what really drives the movie. We don't get the whole backstory, but we don't need it. It's not necessary. They just click. One is chaos, the other one is panic, and together, it's enough to bend time. It's time travel waiting to happen. Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the problematic stuff. Okay, real life. Some parts of this movie haven't really aged super well. Like the whole your mom's crushing on you thing. It's played for laughs, sure, but it's kind of weird. Lorraine, who is Marty's mom, is all over him right away. Flirting, trying to kiss him. It was awkward watching it back then. It's awkward watching it nowadays. Even if it makes sense for the story, which it does, that vibe is a tough one to swallow no matter what decade you're in. Then there's Biff, your classic loud, dumb bully. He even crosses the line twice with Lorraine, but by the end, no real consequences, just a demotion to car wax salesman. Kind of a weird way to wrap things up with that character. One thing that jumps out now, though, it's definitely a movie of its time. Mostly white cast, not much diversity beyond the main crew. Well, unless you count all the Pepsi products littered throughout the movie. But that's something different. The movie itself, it's not offensive, just a bit narrow, which is not a deal breaker, but you notice it watching it today. The movie's all about that small town suburban vibe, and that's the world that it shows us. It's not really a flaw, just how movies were back in the 80s. And sure, those issues are there, but the movie still works. Why? Because at its core, it's about stuff everyone gets wanting to fix the past. Hoping your parents are happy, trying to take control of your life, feeling like your dreams are bigger than your world. That's not 1985 stuff, that's just human. Back to the Future isn't cynical or bitter. It really believes people can change, and that's what gives it heart. One brave move can flip your whole timeline. Small choices actually matter, and standing up for yourself can change everything. That's a pretty powerful group of messages to put into one movie. Maybe even more relevant now than when it first came out. Because let's be real, we live in a world that feels huge and out of control. Algorithms decide what we see, jobs feel unstable, things move fast. So, the idea that one choice, one risk can change everything, that hits different. It's not just a movie fantasy, it's hope. Hope is everything. Where was I? All right, so also let's not forget the movie, the craftsmanship within the movie. The movie is tight. Every setup has a payoff. Every moment builds up to something. That photograph with the disappearing siblings, brilliant visual metaphor. And the Twin Pines Mall becoming the Lone Pine Mall, chef's kiss. It's a movie that respects your attention. There's no wasted frames. The script is lean. The pacing never drags. The music, especially Alan Silverstein's themes, it soars. It makes skateboarding past the Burger King feel like a climax at Star Wars. And don't even get me started on the ending. Lightning strikes, Marty races the clock, Doc's dangling from the clock tower with the wet wire in one hand and a dream in the other. It's a cinematic perfection with no CGI, no green screen, just high stakes, sweat, and timing. So, again, is Back to the Future still relevant? Absolutely. Not just for the nostalgia, but for the storytelling, for raw emotional truth, for that pure, joyful magic that somehow teaches us about family, fear, and finding our own worth. It shows us our parents were once kids, that we're not trapped in by the past or the future, that the future still is ours to write. And that even the smallest acts of bravery can echo through time, changing more than just our own story. And sure, the DeLorean is iconic, the hoverboard is cool, but what makes this movie timeless is its heart. Time travel is just the excuse. The real journey is back to yourself. If you're into this kind of nostalgia trip or just love seeing old movies through fresh eyes, go ahead and hit subscribe. We've got plenty more deep dives coming your way, and there's one that we've already done. So let's keep this ride going through the wild, the weird, the wonderful world of movies. See you next time.